Looking to take your content to the next level?
In 1998, with funding from the Carnegie Corporation of New York, the JFK School of Government at Harvard University produced a report entitled Catastrophic Terrorism: Elements of a National Policy. The report called on readers to imagine an act of catastrophic terrorism that killed thousands, and presented the following conclusions and suggestions in reference to the attack. It could involve loss of life and property unprecedented for peacetime. It could undermine Americans' fundamental sense of security within their own borders. Constitutional liberties would be challenged as the United States sought to protect itself from further attacks. More violence would follow, either as other terrorists seek to imitate the great success, or as the United States strikes out at those considered responsible. Like Pearl Harbor, such an event would divide our past and future into before and after. The report also promoted the creation of 2 new government offices which would be responsible for the security of the American homeland after an attack. The first proposed office would manage preemptive strikes against suspected enemies, while the second would handle activities that affect prevention, containment, and management of the consequences of a catastrophic attack. Bearing an eerie resemblance to the Department of Homeland Security, the second office was to draw on the resources of the National Guard, FEMA, the Department of Health and Human Services, and other federal, state, and local agencies. Within 3 years, America experienced the catastrophic attack alluded to in the report. The September 11, 2001 false flag attacks. Subsequently, one of the 3 authors of the report, Philip Zelikow, became the executive director of the phony 9/11 Commission. And in 2002, the Department of Homeland Security was created in response to the 9/11 attacks. Unbeknownst to many Americans, detailed plans for Homeland Security had already been developed in the aforementioned report. What began as a witch hunt for alleged terrorists overseas soon arrived back on American shores, where tyrannical government agents refocused on domestic organizations. With basic infrastructure already in place, DHS surged ahead with its plans for a draconian police state. Behold the following abominations. The Patriot Act, the Protect America Act of 2007, warrantless wiretaps and data monitoring, TSA, random pat-downs, random subway bag checks, police checkpoints, military checkpoints in violation of the Posse Comitatus Act, the Guantanamo Bay concentration camp, fusion centers, warrantless home raids, anti-gun legislation, license plate scanners, and increased closed-circuit television presence, DHS propaganda spewing telescreens, the internet kill switch, and hundreds more. Some of these new security measures are in direct violation of the Fourth Amendment to the United States Constitution, which states, "The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrants shall issue but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched, and the persons or things to be seized." Random searches of airline and subway passengers do not meet the prerequisite of probable cause. This has been substantiated time and time again in a variety of Supreme Court cases related to the Fourth Amendment. Homeland Security, the umbrella organization, now includes 187 federal agencies and departments. Frontline PBS recently produced a documentary on what it referred to as the terrorism industrial complex, where they uncovered a massive network of defense contractors scrapping over billions in DHS contracts. The US government is using your tax dollars to cage you in. And still we hear some Americans recite the failed mantra, "If you're not doing anything wrong, you have nothing to worry about." But you must worry, because new police state tactics go beyond violations of constitutional law and also target the innocent with physical damage. TSA body scanners, also known as backscatter X-ray machines, produce ionizing radiation. The damage from these X-rays accumulates in the body over a period of time. Ionizing radiation causes DNA damage in cells. It is also associated with the following cancers: leukemia, thyroid, skin, breast, bladder, colon, liver, lung, esophagus, ovarian, multiple myeloma, stomach, nasal, pharyngeal and laryngeal, and pancreatic. Groundbreaking research was recently released by the National Academy of Sciences concerning the biological effects of radiation and the dangers inherent in low doses of ionizing radiation. DHS Director Janet Big Sis Napolitano now recommends TSA-style checkpoints for sports stadiums and malls. In the not-too-distant future, Americans may be required to step through X-ray scanners in order to catch a game or visit a mall food court. Furthermore, major media outlets reported that the U.S. government, as well as police departments around the country, are rolling out mobile X-ray units disguised as trucks and vans, which target random vehicles with powerful X-ray beams. The next time you're sitting at a stoplight, your children might be in the back seat, receiving a heavy dose of ionizing radiation without your permission. This ain't no dental X-ray, my friends. Despite the blatant abuses perpetrated by the U.S. government and various state governments, some will brush such actions aside, preferring instead to focus on what they perceive as protection benefits offered by the Department of Homeland Security and the new security measures put in place after 9/11. To be sure, DHS is large and domineering. It is, in fact, the largest government complex in Washington, D.C., and dwarfs the Pentagon. The headquarters costs a whopping $3.4 billion. In addition, DHS built 72 fusion centers across the United States, with a price tag of $420 million. With all of the government contracts in play, DHS will soon ring up over $1 trillion in taxpayer dollars, if it hasn't already. It almost makes you wonder if the $2.3 trillion that went missing from the Pentagon under Donald Rumsfeld's watch made its way into the coffers of Homeland Security. Yet, despite this enormous outpouring of your wealth, DHS and all its high-tech eavesdropping was unable to thwart the underwear bomber incident, the Little Rock recruiting office shooting, the University of Oklahoma bombing, or the 2010 Times Square car bomb incident. Nor did they anticipate the Fort Hood shooting or the Tucson massacre, despite ample forewarning. Now, I suspect that at least some of these events were black ops or false flag operations. But assuming you bought the official government stories, you must admit that DHS security measures and billions of tax dollars failed to avert these acts of terror. In each instance, DHS was nowhere to be found. In conclusion, let us accept the following facts as lessons learned. Haphazardly increasing security measures will eventually harm us all, and no reasonable new security measures will prevent a devoted terrorist from attacking. If we continue down the current path and encourage tyrannical behavior, the freedoms enjoyed by past generations and indeed the principles on which America was founded will be lost forever. As Americans, we should never sacrifice freedom for the promise of security. We must come together and resist en masse any entity that would impose new security measures which overstep the bounds of our Constitution or inherent human rights, and we are already beyond that point. We must also consider fair treatment of other countries and abandon the exploitation and manipulation of foreign governments, which has been the mainstay of our corrupt leaders. As an info warrior, I would like to propose several ideas to counteract Big Brother/Sis and the evolving police state. Number 1. 8.5 by 11 wanted posters with photos citing proven and alleged crimes of the elitists and their underlings. Optional people of interest might include banking magnates, top government officials, corporate thugs, crooked cops, and more. If you can make the posters available online in PDF format, all the better. Number 2. An online database similar to a DHS database. I envision a MySQL database where random activists fill out online forms concerning specific elitists and submit them for review. A small team of activists could vet the evidence in the forms, and if it passes scrutiny, log the information into a live system. The database could be searched online by any visitor using a variety of parameters. And number 3, Although we despise lobbying, as long as it remains lawful, we might use it to defend our own constitutional rights. We need an anti-police state lobby. The NRA had success in defending gun rights, and we can also be successful. This lobby could utilize common loopholes and influence politicians to vote against bills that are detrimental to our freedoms. It could accept donations and follow a model similar to the NRA.
All right, what's up, everybody? Well, I'm just gonna come right out. You know, you can just call me Tom. That's my first name. That's where I'll leave it. I'm obviously going to be a public figure going forward with this project that I'm launching. But with the slideshow going in the background, sort of adhering to the theme of what we're dealing with here today, is I just wanted to announce that the 9/11 demo project, the demo for it's a vertical slice experience of the concept I have come up with, and the title of the full experience, which I believe the demo will be a smashing success. I believe we will be able to achieve our fundraising goals. And so basically this is it. I'm going to share with you a few aspects here of the project so far. Right now, I am on Fiverr, and I am recruiting on Fiverr at the moment. So that engagement's actually been going really well. The Fiverr is a great tool for engagement. If you're looking for a social media-esque style, independent gig worker platform when it comes to digital media creation, Fiverr is fantastic. They also got music, all kinds of stuff. And let me share the channel link real quick. I got somebody here that I am communicating with at the moment. Just bear with me. Copy. Fiverr. All right. Anyways, okay, took care of that. Good. This is. I'm not gonna say that this is always gonna be the format here, but we're gonna see videos dealing specifically with the accusation of what actually happened on 9/11. Also, dealing more specifically with, at this moment, Flight 93. Flight 93 specifically, because that is the portion of this experience that I'm working on getting developed right now. I'm going to post in the description the Give, Send, Go. Let me find it here. Where is it? Let me get that link in here. Copy. I'll put it in the description of this live stream. Let me go ahead and edit that real quick. Share the fundraiser. And we'll put that in there. We'll go ahead and save that. All right, so that's now in there. It's also the main link here at on the channel. So anyways, So we have the fundraiser going, and the important thing, I think, at this moment for anybody who is potentially interested in joining the project, understand that it's going to sort of, the way I'm imagining this right now, is it's going to function as a what you contribute and what we hash out in terms of payment. That is what you'll get, and your work, the credit that you get is going to be documented very specifically, very thoroughly, including the amount of hours that you put in, and all that will be credited to you through the documentation, which I have no interest in modifying or chopping out or taking credit from anybody, because ultimately I don't have the skills and the talent myself to build this experience for video game players around the world. I don't have that ability. What I do have is a vision. What I do have is I know exactly what it is we're going for in terms of the experience. I know exactly what is going to captivate and get the attention of the game playing audience. So we're starting out on PC. In the documentation I've got right now, the goals is to get on the 3 major console platforms. Also getting in on all the storefronts, Steam, Epic, Indie Gala, Green Man Gaming, in terms of giving access to this game buying audience. I haven't quite figured out what the structure is going to be in terms of, is there going to be a cost up front? Is there going to be a period of time where the game is free because of the fundraiser? So we want to give everybody the chance that got involved in the community up front to, play the game without having to pay for anything, especially if they're, sharing links and whatnot. So, but that will be all figured out, and will be set into the documentation for the game itself in terms of development. Obviously, we're gonna want to have as many developers as possible agreeing on the financial structure of the economy of the game, so that we can continue to get revenue in to fund the development, because we're not just going to stop. My plan is to not just stop with September 11th, 2001. My goal is to actually develop a revenue stream that can command the creative forces of a decentralized development team across the whole world, so that when events are happening in real time, we can get right away into reconstructing the world, right? Through all of the information sources that we can gather, having a dedicated research team, for sure, a dedicated decentralized researching network of people who are able to go out and gather information and evidence that is then used to reconstruct the event that happened in the world, and give people an opportunity to experience that event through a recreation, a simulated gameplay experience. Now, it's a grand vision, I understand. I don't have any experience developing a game. I have dabbled in Unreal Engine 4. I have played video games my entire life. So I have my own experiences that I'm drawing on, and I believe that if somebody's been playing video games their entire life, they have credibility to say, this is the game that I would like to make, and this is the vision, and I'm just looking for some help getting it done. So let me show you the document right now, and the platform. What is it called again? Nucleus. Okay. So Nucleus is the platform I'm using to host the game development documents. I don't have a problem showing you here on the screen. So this is where we're at. Like I said, I'm still in the process of building the teams. I'm not trying to dox anybody at the moment, so I'll get off of that. But just so you know, this is where I'm at right now. I'm not claiming, like I said, to be a veteran of the video game industry. In fact, I am from a consumption standpoint, so I have a real understanding of what drives people away, what draws people in. I have amassed and I'm not bragging, I'm just giving you my receipts, okay? Over the course of, I think, roughly 3 or 4 years, I bought a PlayStation 3, I bought multiple Xbox 360s, I bought a refurbished Dreamcast, a PlayStation 2, what else have I bought? I've got a huge number of high-end NVIDIA GPUs that I was using for mining. I mean, so I've been swimming in this tech. I've been swimming in the industry, observing, being critical in my thought process, not being a blind consumer. Anyways, let me get to my game library. My game library consists mostly of a huge selection of Xbox 360 titles, Xbox One titles, PlayStation 3 titles, PlayStation 4. I got a PlayStation 4 Pro, an Xbox One X, an Xbox Series X. Like I said, PlayStation 3, multiple Xbox 360s, multiple Dreamcast machines, PlayStation 2. I mean, shit. I'm into emulation, and I haven't. Let me say this. My biggest failure in life is follow through. But with the help of the gaming community, with the help of those that seek truth, with the help of those that want to see a cultural shift away from blind consumption of mainstream corporate controlled media to a culture of critical thought processes that is able to put aside our normalcy biases to come to an understanding of what we're looking at for real here. What are we really looking at? And so I have my receipts in the video game industry. I've actually made contact with people at Intel on a console type device for creating an alternative economic model where you could take capital out of the current modern SWIFT connected banking system and deposit that into essentially a liquidity pool to then be leveraged for not only having a separate, more secure, protected economic system that is decentralized and verified through a hybrid gas token that would be proof of work and proof of stake. I'm getting off track. I'm sorry. That'll be a separate video where I'll talk more about that, which I think that model of economy, I think, is more of the future where the economy is empowered to direct itself to where it wants to go through voting rights and voting shares and leverage liquidity pools, where the digital assets are used to leverage real investment capital and allow direct investment driven Anyways, I'm confusing myself. Let me just keep on moving here. Okay, so back to Flight 93, a demo. So we have the Nuclino document. I'm going to be working on that. Where I'm trying to see. So company wiki. No, what was I working on before? I was working on something and I got around here. Let me take a look. See, I'm still learning. This has just been within the last 24 hours, actually more like the last 12 hours, really. Starting around noon when I got into the car, I started because I recently ended some employment, and so I'm looking at what am I going to do. I don't want to go back to working as a wage cuck. I want to do something important, and I think this might be the most important video game that's ever made, hands down, no question, to me. Okay, here we go. Okay, so whenever you first start up the Nuclino app, it takes you right to basically this kind of screen. And so I immediately started working on the game, or the demo, I should say. So let's see, here's some typo stuff I gotta fix. But yeah, so the Flight 93 demo. This is just a screenshot here, a cropped shot that I'm reusing as a logo to sort of unify the look of everything. But the elevator pitch here, we're developing a branching story-driven game set in September 11, 2001. Its gameplay is strongly story-driven and based on the official story of 9/11 and the unofficial speculations based on expert witnesses and hard evidence. So there you go. Genre, I just kind of made it up. Like, it's a sandbox story-driven game. Our target audience is a 7-year-old could play this game and understand, because the game is going to be not only an encyclopedia of knowledge about this event, or about any event that Revisionist Games creates. It'll all be branching, of course, off of this concept, of course, because I think this is very much needed in the video game space. A place where people can find truth in their experience. And not just, this is my truth, but no, objective, reality-defining truth, where people can get together and point at it and go, yes, we agree on what this is actually saying. So, males and females, of course. Obviously, we're targeting PC first. Then once the demo goes live, we'll be looking at, with the proper funding, of course, we're going to be looking at moving into Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo Switch ecosystems. I'm hoping that with proper context understood, that we won't get any political pressure from these platforms to, modify any content. I think for the sake of reaching an audience and gaining access to audience, I'm not going to make it so politically charged in the demo. It's going to be more about people just experiencing the stuff that is backed up by hard evidence in terms of the game and the gameplay. I think I'm getting messages here on Fiverr. Let me check it out real quick. Oh my goodness. People aren't understanding things, are they? That's fine. Anyhow. So, we got that. I worked on the theme and setting a little bit. Flight 93 demo is a story-driven game set in an accurate recreation of Flight 93 on September 11, 2001. The player takes on the various roles of the passengers, crew, and terrorists. While the visual and mechanical setting of the game is historically accurate, there will be a multiplayer portion allowing for character customization. See another typo there. Customization with real-life players doing the role donning, and I might be spelling that wrong here. We'll have to spell check that here. Can I spell check that? No, I can't. Okay. Donning the roles of passengers. I should just say assuming. I think assuming is a more clear term for anybody here. Might be coming across this. Assuming the roles of passengers, crew, and terrorists in a battle to save or crash the plane. So we got this was filled in automatically. So this is actually a really great template to start out with, I have found. So I think there's a few people here that have actually, I think there's one person right now that has officially joined the team. And in terms of, you might be questioning, okay, this all sounds great and wonderful. How I've discussed the economics of this situation. Okay, this is if you have a personal itch to be a part of something that is going to open up more opportunities for you in ways that you could have never imagined. This is the project for you to have your name attached to. I don't care if you're just animating one particular thing or you're working on one small aspect of the overall package. Everybody's going to get name recognition. Eventually, the game documentation will be made public. There will be a public version of it documenting the game's development or the demo's development, giving people credit, letting people know not necessarily the amounts that people were paid, but the hours that they put in, what they worked on, really giving a public, what do they call that, where you have like a public resume, verite or some shit like that. I forget what it's called. What is it called? I don't know. Whatever. But it's a way for you to point to something that's public that is like, hey, this documents what I actually did in the game. And it's going to open up opportunity. I'm just telling you right now, it's going to open up massive opportunities for anybody who chooses to get involved. There's just no question about it. Anybody that I talk to about this game concept are like, wow, that sounds really fucking awesome. Usually that sounds interesting, that sounds awesome. I have never gotten negative feedback in terms of somebody who plays video games hearing the pitch and goes, actually, that sounds really cool, man. That's mostly what I've gotten, is that's really cool, that's awesome, that's interesting has been the least positive reaction that I've gotten. It's a very small amount of people that are like, that's interesting. Most people are like that. If they're a video game player, they're like, that's awesome, that sounds amazing. And it's gonna be. I have no reservations in stating that at all. It's gonna be fantastic. So we're still live. I don't know that there's much else that I want to go over here with this. This is just development just started today, okay, and we're in pre-production planning. Like I said, I'm trying to build the team. If you're interested, let me go ahead and update this here. If you're interested in joining the team, I'll just post the link here for this Nuclino. Let me invite people. Copy. I'm going to put the join link for the team in the description as well. So the join link for the Nuclino project, the Nuclino platform where the project is being hosted right now, that's there. On Wednesday this week, and I will put a link to for a Google Meeting. I'm just gonna decide now. I'm gonna use a Google Meeting platform. And I'm saying a lot of ums because I'm just thinking on the fly here. I'm working through this live on the stream just because I don't want people to think that this is like a fly-by-night operation here. I have, and I'll just be honest, I have maybe 2 months worth of capital right now that I can count on selling some crypto. Actually, I've got a little bit more than that once I sell off a bunch of hardware assets that I acquired in my mining adventure over the last year and a half. About a year and a half now. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be holding out as long as I can. I'm going to be working my ass off to get to the goal of having raised $100,000 through GiveSendGo to launch this thing. Get contracts signed with Fiverr developers, and anybody else who outside of even the Fiverr community that wants to contribute. I'm I'm going to have to come up with budgets for the different aspects of this project, and that includes the marketing campaign, the community engagement, level design, character modeling. I have to set aside a budget for purchasing pre-developed assets out of the Unreal Engine marketplace, and I'll be working with individual developers on picking and choosing those various different things out of the marketplace. Let me think. What else? I mean, there's a lot going on right now. I just started this process about 12 hours ago, a little more than 12 hours ago. So, what else can I put in here that will be useful for anybody who finds this video and somehow makes it this far? And I will be coming through and busting out clips. I will be making a clips playlist where I'll be clipping specific things that will probably help push a little bit better with the information, get that stuff across a little bit easier for people to digest. Because this is kind of a long-winded thing that I just put together just off the cuff. Because I'm trying to get it done. I really am. Okay, so it is actually not so short anymore. Check out this once short video introducing Flight 93 demo. So I'm just calling it Flight 93 demo. That's all I'm calling it. Flight 93 demo. That's the title of it. I'm just calling it. I'm not saying the Flight 93 demo. If I'm referring to the actual vertical slice demo that we're working on here. So I got the fundraiser. I'll say join the team. Join the team. We'll do that here. I'm sorry, I'm kind of doing this off screen. Let me see here. Inside job.
Was 9/11 an inside job?
100%.
Alright, so we'll kind of let this play in the background a little bit. Let me think here. I got another message on Fiverr. Alright, awesome. Let's see here. Okay, let me send this guy the link for the project here. This is beautiful. I think I've just been waiting for the right tools. You know? I've just been waiting for the right control panel for me to like an orchestra director move the pieces on the board and send the information easily. I've been looking for the right tools. I've been waiting for the right tools to do this without having to have a massive overhead of a big building and, you know, signing deals with, you know, people who worship Satan. I've been not wanting to do that ever.
That is the information that I'm getting from two sources, that there was a van either on the New Jersey Turnpike or the Garden State Parkway, and that it was near the
Alright, so
there were 2 and 3 men who were in the van over. It is not too
okay, so where is
law enforcers found tons of explosives in
bruh?
the van. That is right now all I'm hearing, but again, 2 to 3 people in custody, and we are trying to get more information on that right now.
It has been more than 16 years since a civilian working for the Navy was charged with passing secrets to Israel. Jonathan Pollard guilty to conspiracy to commit espionage and is serving a life sentence. At first, Israeli leaders claimed Pollard was part of a rogue operation, but later took responsibility for his work. Now, Fox
Yeah, there is so much, bro. There is so much evidence for 9/11 being an inside job. Oh my goodness, it is crazy. It is so crazy.
Since September 11th, more than 60 Israelis have been arrested or detained, either under the new Patriot anti-terrorism law or for immigration violations. A handful of active Israeli military were among those detained, according to investigators, who say some of the detainees also failed polygraph questions and asked about alleged activities against.
Okay, so back to this. All right, so I got the fundraiser in the description. I have the join the team link. Damn, like what else can I put in here? I'm like trying to think. I don't have a website yet. That's the one thing that's the one thing I'm looking for. Shit. I don't know. I think, fuck. I'm trying to think. Is there any other? I don't have anything else right now. This is it. This is where it's at. All right. Okay. So, I think this is where I'm going to kill it. I don't have much else to offer right now in terms of like useful information. If you're interested, please click on the link, the join the team link in the description. Check out the Give Send Go fundraiser. I really, I don't know how much I can express to you how important this project is actually going to be. And I think I'm going to actually make I'm going to do several live streams right now in succession where these are going to be recruitment videos for specific roles right now. And then, actually, I think I'm going to save that for tomorrow after I get a little bit more engagement on Fiverr. I think I'm going to kill this right now and come back, and I'm going to talk about why this is going to be the most important video game ever made. All right, I'm out.
Watch out, let me get a shot. Where they at?
New video of the street-to-street fighting in Fallujah was released late on Wednesday. The footage shows U.S. Marines facing a resistance while advancing through the narrow streets of one of the neighborhoods of Fallujah.
West! Hey, he's in that garage! This one right here? Yeah! He's in there! We got friendlies on the road! Everybody, frag out! Frag out! Which door's moving? Finish you. Watch to your right. I got this one. I mean your left. I got this one for you.